Y'all gonna call me an old ass lady in old school when y'all hear this, but bitch, take them fucking phones and tablets and shit from these young ass kids. What the fuck is the real reason? Give me a dead ass reason that a child needs to have all this fucking access to the internet. Unless you got every parent block on that bitch. I'm talking about on Safari, Google, bitch, the App Store, bitch, any type of search engine. If you don't have access to all that, what's the reason that your child got a phone? What's the reason that your child got access to everything, the whole world? Ass cracks, booty holes, titties, everything. Your kid, your child, innocent ass. You know how easy it is to accidentally come across some shit on the internet? You mean to tell me your curious, learning children need to have all that fucking access young? Y'all kids is getting brainwashed by the fucking government. I'm telling y'all. Y'all thinking y'all kids slow and shit. They going in these classrooms for eval, and this teachers and shit telling them, oh, they're behind. They might need IEP. They might need evaluation. Ain't shit wrong with your child. But the fact that you ain't teaching them shit and they learning from the internet, that device. And bitch, I stand on it. The only way to know is to walk, then learn, then grow. Bitch, in the words of Lauryn Hill, I'ma keep saying that shit. That's the only way to know. Who the fuck better than to teach your child than you? Every time you need your child to sit down and shut the fuck up, it's not put the tablet in their face. Turn on some learning shit. Turn on some shit. All they need is a TV. Other than that, send their ass outside in the backyard. Go take your child places. Do activities and shit with your child. It's so much shit to do. Like, it's so much shit to do other than just throw a device in your child's face. Throw your child on everybody. You don't know who the fuck is raising your child and what their intentions is. What their intent is. What their beliefs is. How they live. You don't know shit. You don't know what predators is on the internet through these apps on the other side of these phones and shit, getting access to y'all kids, knowing that y'all not giving a fuck enough to check their devices or none of that shit. Like, I don't know. And I'm not talking about a specific range of kids. I'm talking about all ages from 17 and under. Fuck is you talking about? 17 and under. I just feel like, I ain't gonna say 17, maybe 16. Because 17, 18, it's like, okay, you damn near grown. You start getting a little leverage. But 16 and under, I just don't see no need. Like, you supposed to be focusing on school. You only have such a amount of focus. And as a child, your brain is only developed so fucking much. Like, that shit really, that's why the depression rate and shit is going up. Kids are seeing other kids and what they got, and seeing the comparison is the thief of all joy. Seeing what other fucking kids got. Comparing phones. You got an Android. Grown as fuck. At a young age, why the fuck is that child worried? It start with the parents. Y'all always blaming the fucking kids, but it start with the parents. Y'all too busy trying to live y'all life because y'all had all y'all fucking kids young as fuck. So y'all just giving them devices and shit, making them grown and shit before their age because y'all want to go do what the fuck y'all want to do and not raise y'all kids. And now this is just a line of kids raising kids, literally, in adult fucking bodies. So that's why this shit is looked at as like it's cool, because it's unless you really got the spirit to see through the shit, you ain't gonna see through the shit, period. Like, but I just want y'all to know, save y'all fucking kids, save y'all families, get them fucking, whoever's the strong one in the family, start doing sweeps on that shit. Start looking through that shit. You feel me? This is your sign, ho. This is your sign. Only reason they need to have some shit is to contact they parent on some Obama shit. They don't need no full-blown Instagram, Twitters and shit. You gotta be a certain age to make a Twitter. Half these kids and shit got Twitters. How is this possible? This shit ain't. No, they need some shit to be able to contact they parent and they parent only. When they on their way to school, you might want them to have a phone because it's like, nah, I don't want my kid just out here. My kid might walk, it might be a walker. My kid might not ride the bus and shit like that. So I need my kid to have a way to contact me and shit like that. It's other ways. They don't gotta have no fucking iPhone. They don't gotta have no fucking iPhone. I don't give a fuck what other kids are saying about them. We gonna see where the fuck them other kids be at in a few years. I'm praying for everybody, and I don't wish no bad on, but I'm just saying it got to start somewhere. Somebody got to do something, or this shit, we might as well burn this bitch up in flames ourselves. The whole world, we might as well end this shit ourselves. The way this shit going, y'all better start doing shit. Then start with the kids. I believe our children is our future. Teach them well and let them lead the motherfucking way. Y'all is not doing that. Y'all trying to push y'all beliefs and shit on y'all kids because y'all didn't get to live y'all life the way. It's hella shit. Like, hella shit that people don't take accountability for. Hella shit that people never look at, and just living blindly. Like, I just don't know. I don't know. Just out here living like ain't shit going on. Like, they don't have dreams. Like, how the fuck is that a way to live, to get old and have so many regrets in your fucking life? Like, take life seriously. Not too seriously, though. Dead ass. What MG say? I barely trust my fucking self. This shit get real.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. One in the chat, if you can hear me okay. I can't really trust my green lines that I see going up and down because I'll start talking, start yapping, and be like, Hood, we can't hear you. Hood, we can't hear you. So let me know if y'all can hear me. One in the chat. Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, though. How are y'all doing on this Sunday evening? I said Sunday evening, Sunday morning. I think it's Sunday. Um, yeah, let's just get into this. We're talking about the lunar eclipse that's going to be taking place tonight. And it's like two or three things that I want to say before I get into it, but I want to say it the correct way. And the first thing is, why do I do this? Right? Why am I on the internet? Why am I talking about this type of stuff? Um, well, plainly, it was because when I was a truck driver, I would be on the road and I would be constantly like looking for things to listen to, but I wasn't necessarily scratching that itch because I wanted to like discuss astrology and things of that nature and hear it from a black perspective. It's only so many, you know, Leo King videos you could listen to before you lose your shit, right? So at a certain point, I was like, damn, I need to create content or do videos on subjects that I want to listen to while I drive. And so that's basically why I started a YouTube channel so I could listen to myself while I was on the truck. But of course, that evolved into many different things that up until this particular day is still evolving, and I'm still growing and I'm still learning and I'm still listening. But one of the major, when you study in astrology and you're talking about astrology, you could, I mean, essentially, I could just yap about things and what is that? But what kept me going was the reality of the understanding, to whereas it helped me understand this physical life by studying this astrological life. So, if that makes sense, let me know. So, as I'm studying this particular chart, it brings me back to a phenomenon. And this phenomenon are the celestial planets conjunct the nodes. Because the nodes are not a planet, they are just the mathematical point where the ecliptical plane is at zero. Because when we think about the moon orbiting around the earth, there becomes a particular point in time where the moon and the earth are aligned perfectly. And that point moves throughout time. But that point, whenever you have a new moon or a full moon conjunct that particular point, you're going to have an eclipse. And an eclipse is an alignment. And the reason why I bring that up, that initial story up, is because when I acknowledge and study eclipses, my life changed. Those were turning points. You know how every day can be the same. You go to work, have a routine, and then all of a sudden, that routine is switched. Now, for some of us, that could be random, but for most of us, it is an act of alignment and truth in the awareness of the celestial bodies, i.e., the studying of astrology. Now, the studying of astrology can benefit me, but in doing this content over the years, I have seen it benefit others as well. So that's why I get on this particular platform called YouTube and talk the things that I'm talking about. So give me 1 second. And shout out to my community, White Rabbit Psychedelics, whiterabbitpsych.com. Check us out. Plenty of free one would say literature, worksheets, information, how-tos, things of that nature. Please check out the community, whiterabbitpsych.com. But with all of that being said, tonight, the chart for today, for September 7th, 2025, we have the sun. I will just bring that up a little bit so I can see it. The sun is conjunct the south node, while the moon is conjunct the north node. When the sun and the moon are at 180-degree opposition in conjunction with the nodes, only then will we have a lunar eclipse. If you have a full moon in any capacity, in any direction, it will never come to a lunar eclipse. But in studying these mathematical, scientifical realities that we come to understand, us as spiritual beings, we have to first understand that before there was a mathematical node, there was a Ketu and a Rahu. Because in Vedic astrology, these mathematical points and scientific ideas, the people did not know this. However, they were in observation of the celestial bodies and came to see that a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse are going to hit differently. The crop is going to change. The animals got more teeth now. The plants, we got a new plant that just got invented. We got a rose. Like, major events happen in reference to the lunar eclipse. And therefore, what I'm gonna attempt to do during this video is explain why, right? Is explain why and what and how these eclipses are powerful and how you can take full advantage of this particular eclipse cycle. because it is very simple once you get into the reality that spirituality is not complex. We are just either going to be aware of it or unaware of it. So this brings us into the ego. The ego in America that has been taught by the US government on how to be. So, conversations in reference to Vedic astrology, sidereal astrology, since you weren't taught this K through 12, it begins to be a conversation on, well, I'll take it or leave it. One's in the chat, if you can understand that concept that I just laid out. Because when it comes to a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse and utilizing the particular energy in your favor, one would have to be able to understand their shadow or their soul or their innermost. And if you weren't taught that K through 12 during your formative years, your shadow plays a part of a negative entity within your being that really shows up as your ego, because your ego has been informed, it has been taught, it has been guided, it has been instructed, it has been mentored. You went to the professional development courses, things of that nature. So that is your identity. So your shadow, your soul, the thing that you must do in this lifetime during lunar eclipse, these things begin to get triggered. And it is a process of winnowing. Okay? Winnowing meaning. And understand, as spiritual beings, the process of winnowing is a forever process, because the ego is how the ego does. And we as spiritual beings have to understand that, man, sometimes it is a transition time. It is a time to um remove the shaft, or let the wind blow the entities and the energies within us that don't need to be here. It is a letting go process, energetically, mentally, emotionally. And in reference to this particular full moon, because we're going to be uh, elemental and alchemical with our formulations, the sun is in a fire sign of Leo, and the moon is in a air sign of Aquarius when we study the true sidereal. So we are talking about a soul urge and a mental urge. We're talking about a fifth house cultivation of our true talent. Imagine going to college because you figured that this career was going to get you the most money. Or imagine working at a job where you feel that this job is giving you the most money or the most security. Then say your talent might not even be in reference to your career or that thing that you are making money in. The major disclaimer is don't quit your day job. But the suggestion is always, what is your fifth house creativity? What do you stand on in that area of life? In the modern age, people are not into woodworking, ceramics, pottery, sewing. The brothers is not building furniture anymore. People are, when you are working, when you work a 9 to 5, your life is that job. Don't ever get that shit confused. You ain't about to do shit but work. If you gotta make 150, $200 a day, by the time your day is over, because to get that money, you gotta exchange energy for that money. And by the time I don't care what you do, the job is the thing that when you get home, you're about to, you know how at 3 o'clock you got all the ideas about what you going to do when you get home. Am I just talking to myself right now? One's in the chat. If at about 3, you get off at 5, at 3, you like, when I get home, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this and that. I'm gonna sign up for that dancing class. Then I'm gonna go to yoga. 5 o'clock come, 5:15 come. You driving, you start to get a little tired. You like, damn, I know this ain't what I think it is. I know this ain't what I think it is. And then 5:30 come. You know what? I think if I just lay down for a little bit, I have enough energy to. And then shit, it be the next day. Now you gotta. All right, You waking up early, so shit. Let me make me a big breakfast and get back to work. I know I can't be talking to myself. So when we talk about the fifth house and we talk about human life, part of human life is creativity. The job say, fuck that. So when you look at a lunar eclipse and you start to examine where this pressure is coming from, where it is the things that you truly want to do, but you're not able to do it because you got to put food on the table. So when we then juxtapose Leo into Aquarius, then there becomes the idea of community and the necessity for community. Anything that was ever built, anything that was ever real was based upon community. But this is where the ego in America that has been informed by the government that wants you to be a worker, doesn't want you to unite. It doesn't want you to formulate positive and healthy bonds with individuals so that you can create everlasting generational wealth. So, in reference to the moon conjunct the north node, which represents like your future plans for your community, if you are a part of a community that pours into you, be grateful for that during this lunar eclipse. If you do not have this particular community that pours into you, that assists you, that is there for you, then you have to create it. One's in the chat. Because niggas is not sending you an invite. And we're talking about how you feeling, the moon, and your future in the Aquarius 11th house. So in that space, do you need to have it today? No. Do you need to work to acquire it, to desire it, to create it? Then yes. Because you can't exist in this world saying in the future, I'm gonna do it by myself. When you get assistance, oh my God. When you get more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people to come together that's all trying to assist each other, that is the key to life. Okay? What is the lockdown? We are all separated. You by yourself, and now we are integrated in the spiritual community trying to figure it out for ourselves. And we can't, man. I've seen motherfuckers get married on this goddamn channel. One's in the chat. I put families together. I've seen people go from 0 followers to 400,000 followers, few dollars to millionaires. Not because of me, but because they are in awareness of their astrology. They are in awareness of the current astrology, and they seeking the opportunity in the present moment, which is the community, the conversations, the discords, the slacks. You know what I mean? Like, you can, and I'm not speaking for me now, I'm speaking for people out there. You can create opportunities for other people, whether you know it or not. You are a leader in some capacity, whether you know it or not. And the idea that you know, like the readings lately, it's a bunch of people trying to figure it out alone. And I had to come to the conclusion, you can't figure it out alone. It's impossible. It's like trying to climb up Mount Everest with no legs and no hands. It's impossible. It's like trying to float with cement bricks. It's impossible. Name some more shit that's impossible. And that's exactly what it's like by going forward in your life without actual support. And that is the difference between, like, I'm sitting here examining all this shit. I'm getting all of the downloads, and I'm seeing the plan being laid down and being embedded into the cellular of every single person to say, I got to think about myself. I got to think about myself. And here we are looking for this problem, that problem, this problem, that problem. And it is the idea that there are rich people, wealthy people that unite above all. And then we have a working class people that are deeply divided. To whereas in 2025, niggas have progressed into not having a conversation unless it's reference to beef. One's in the chat. The men hate the women. The South hate the North. The Black Americans hate the African Americans. That's the only conversations people can have in a mainstream. Like what positive stories have you heard as, like, just a mainstream story? Because when I woke up this morning, I checked my feed. All I'm seeing is Young Thug this, Young Thug that. And at a certain point, people always have to humble themselves to spirit. Because if you don't honor spirit, or you're not aware of spirit, then it will humble you. Like, you can't be a snake, a literal snake, slime, slat, have serpent, loa ideography. That's why people don't even deal with that type of shit, because of the connotation it serves. Because it's not that spirits are bad. Spirits require your integrity. So when Puff Daddy get a Urzuli Frida tattoo, it's not that she cursed him, but he would have had to not been a person that was abusing women, because that lack of integrity is the full veracity of your spiritual truth. So integrity is a key component to 11th house structures. And integrity starts with you. And integrity have a lot to do with shadow work and collective shadow work. So with a person like Young Thug, and hearing him talk, he speaks through a lot of ego. And with this new movie by Jordan Peele, and just what's in the everyday lexicon now, is the conversation of I'm him. Ones in the chat, you ever heard somebody say I'm him, right? That's the ego. Because in Young Thug's mind, every form of success that he have experienced have been a result of his hard work. But really, it is a higher level of voodoo. How do you know that is voodoo? Because not being disrespectful, right? Just being realistic. Young Thug's music sucks in comparison to, say, a Cool G Rap, right? Or a Rakim, right? It's no comparison between Scarface, Andre 3000, and Young Thug. However, Young Thug had the illusion of being successful. Okay? So, with this illusion of being successful, he can start to think that shit, I'm him. I'm him for real. But having millions of people follow you and be your fan, that's a spirit, that's just spirit is working in your favor. So, the things that you do in reference to integrity. So, what is integrity in reference to Young Thug? Integrity is when people are not looking, I am this type of person. What's the problem with Young Thug? All of his private phone calls have been released. So, what people are noticing about him is that you are not an integral figure. You say things behind people's back. And so, integrity is not the part of you that people get to see because you post on social media every now and again. Integrity is the person that you are 24 hours out the day. And so this is why it requires shadow work in reference to even understanding how you're going to show up for the collective. Because the illusion and the comfort of doing it for yourself or thinking that is your ego, these are the things that are going to come under fire during this lunar eclipse season. So, yes, the season of forgiveness, right? The season of letting things go, the season of taking accountability, the season of the things that you do in the dark come into the light, and then you not going into a deeper mental deep spiral because you understand this is what I need to happen right now. This is what I need to happen so I can evolve. Whatever it looks like, however it feels. Because guess what? In reference to your source, in reference to your shadow, in reference to your soul, it already knows that this shift is taking place and it's already looking ahead and what this next movement is about to be about. But it is our ego was saying, well, I was informed that I was going to make it on my own, and I was informed that I was going to do it this way, and I was informed I was going to do it that way. And your soul is saying, yeah, big bruh, that's change of plans. Okay? Change of plans. We're going to alter some shit. And when you talk about a lunar eclipse and you talk about energy, you gotta be able to connect the dots. Because when you connect the dots, that is your key not to go crazy. Okay? That is your key not to go crazy. Because once again, if you are going through a major shift and a major change right now, you might take it personally. Okay? But you got to also understand two things. You're not doing this alone, and the propaganda that you was going to have to do it alone is being shook into the core. So what are you bringing? What is your cultivation that you are bringing into the collective? This is another 1 to 2 to 3 year process of getting right with your shadow, getting right with your integrity, being the person that you want to be right now already, right? Without saying, well, are people going to accept me? Are people going to let me in? No, this is the time that we have to create the institutions, the foundations, the businesses, the the halls, whatever you are creating to bring people in based upon who you are at this Leo perspective. Who are you truly? What is your talent? What did you come to this world to bring to it? And a lot of times it ain't singing and dancing. A lot of times it's forms, is understanding scientifics, is understanding formulations, is understanding calculations, how to build a house, whatever it is, right? This is what you can begin to build on over these next 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Because when you look at the shifts that's changing, the shift, you're not prepared for the fact that money ain't real. You're not prepared for the fact that it's a working class and it's elitist class. And you're not prepared for the fact that we don't live in a meritocracy. We do not live in a meritocracy. So, what is a meritocracy? If you work hard, you will get what you deserve. Blase blee. One's in the chat, you've been working hard your whole life and still ain't got shit. Because it ain't about what you know, it's about who you know. That is the moon in the 11th house, conjunct the North Node, where you are headed, where you are going. And so I got a little ahead of myself. Let's bring it back to Rahu and Ketu, which are the North and South lunar nodes, respectively, in Hindu astrology, and are known as what, guys? Shadow planets. Why? Because they are not physical bodies, but rather astronomical points. But these shadow planets or astronomical points, guess what? When you look up in the sky in certain places in the planet, you are going to see a moon that is red. You are going to see a blood moon. So, what am I saying? An astronomical point, something that is not real, can have a real life manifestation. Therefore, your soul. So this is why we got to get into the metaphysical reality of life, because that is going to help you map out the facts in the astronomical points. It's not the other way around. You don't look at the world and gain meaning from it, guys. You know when you was young and you wanted to go to the club and the nigga said, let's go into nature. He's like, I ain't about to go to no park with no nigga. Girl, this nigga must be broke. Was in the chat. This nigga must not got no money. He want to go to the goddamn park. But then when you get a little sense in you, you know what I'm saying, you get some rest and relaxation. Now your ass can't stay away from the park. You always up in the nature park on somebody's damn nature trail. Talk about, girl, you want to go on the hike? Why? Because the inside does not create, the outside does not create the inside. It is the inside that creates the meaning or the availability to begin to enjoy this world that you're in right now. So when we're looking at this lunar eclipse, and lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, no difference. It's just a particular astrological observation that has real world consequences, that cause real world shifts. And from the moment I've been studying astrology, my first real deep dive into a solar eclipse was in August of 2017. We used to go to the mounds. We used to go to this one particular mound called Shrum Mound all the time. And I was always surprised that wasn't nobody ever at the damn mound. I said, damn, ain't nobody ever at this mound. Ain't nobody at this damn mound. Then that solar eclipse come. I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna go to the mound water solar, because it was in the daytime in 2017. One's in the chat if you remember that solar eclipse that was in the daytime, and people was outside looking at it. We went to go to our normal place, Shrum Mound, where nobody was at. Niggas was throwing barbecues in that bitch. Kids was running up and down the mound. It was at least 100 people at the fucking mound. I was like, fuck it, it's a party. But think about how that shifted everything inside of me. Because once again, I'm thinking I'm a lone ranger out here in these streets. I'm thinking, oh, it is what it is. I'm just studying the solar eclipse. No, everything shifted from that point. Everything got serious. Everything got real. Everything became tangible because one thing is this mound that I would go to was literally feeding me downloads and information in reference to the celestial. Secondly, everybody, it was feeding everybody else because we all came and bear witness to that solar eclipse together. Hundreds of people, niggas barbecuing, kids running all over the place. It's just festive as hell. I'm like, oh shit, we didn't even plan this shit. You know what I'm saying? We had a cookout and nobody even we the fucking memo was the celestial, guys. That's the memo. That's the calendar plan. Okay, it's a full moon, it's a new moon. Let's lock in. Oh, it's an eclipse. Let's super lock in because this shit is divine. It's a lot of shit in this world that's man-made, y'all. The lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse is divine. What it means for you, how it shows up for you, this is where you have to begin to fully integrate your chart. So Rahu and Keto represent points where the moon's orbit intersects the sun's path, the ecliptic, and they are associated with the myths of the celestial serpent demon, right? Celestial serpent demon. Let's keep that in mind because what's happening with Young Thug is the same thing that happened to Ja Rule, right? Ja Rule and Young Thug, right? They don't really got that much in common, right? But what's Ja Rule's name? Jeffrey Atkins. What's Young Thug's name? Jeffrey Lamar Williams. Okay, so both of their names is Jeffrey. So you got Young Thug, and then you got Ja Rule, but Ja Rule is like really like a fake version of Tupac for real. You know what I'm saying? Like Ja Rule really want to be Pac. So this is a famous quote by Ja Rule. A lot of people say I tried to emulate Tupac, but when I look back at my career, we're very different artists. I took pages out of Pac's book, of course, and lots of other rappers, blah, blah, blah. So Ja Rule was once one of the biggest. I'm telling you, Ja Rule was Drake before Drake. But it's a certain level of ego and going back and forth. And it's not the fact that you might lose or win a battle, it's the fact that you go against your purpose, you go against your plan. That's what it is. Like you're not doing the thing that you come here on earth to do. So with Tupac, the first in this line of thuggies. So once again, because people will be like, Hood, you always going down these rabbit holes that don't make no sense. And to me, it make perfect sense. You have Tupac, Thug Life, which is tatted on his stomach, but what he say? Ever since I was a kid, I was labeled as a mess until I got that Thug Life tatted on my abdomen. Like, wait. No, he says Thug Life tatted on his chest. So Thug Life. Then you got Young Thug. Okay. Young Thug, Thug Life, Young Thug. Same spirit, guys. Because we're like, you got to be able to understand spirits, guys. Because spirits are what's going to get you lit, right? It is the thing that is going to get you lit. Because when you are operating in a world where you're not invoking and utilizing spirits, you're going to be wishing and wanting for shit that only the spirit can bring to you. Now, it depends on who you fuck with, because in reference to this thug mentality, you then have to understand that you are part of a spiritual devotee program to Cali called Thuggies, guys. Y'all are devotees of Cali. Y'all should worship Cali. Y'all need shrines to Cali. Y'all need to do mantras to Cali to get y'all shit together, right? Ja Rule, Tupac, I know you down there in Cuba somewhere, Young Thug. Y'all niggas not hot no more, but y'all was thugs to begin with. y'all y'all thugs. Like a thug ain't like some shit that you like, well, I'm from the hood, so I'm a thug. No, a thug, it's like saying like a car. But because I got a lighter and I call my lighter a car, then my car is not no longer a car. That's very confusing, right? A lighter is a lighter, a car is a car, and a thug is a thug. What is a thug? I'll help you. I help you understand this shit. Cause you, in reference to Leo energy, which is talent, which is um, being a good MC or a rapper or a performer, that's a whole nother thing, right? Because damn, Young Thug could be making songs with Camila Cabello. Oh, I just made another connection, y'all. Remember what I said about Tupac? Tupac, where's Tupac at? Tupac is in Cuba. Where's Havana at? Havana is in Cuba. This is Young Thug's biggest song by far. Camila Cabello, Havana. Havana is just some secret society Tupac shit. But anyways, back to the Thuggies. The Thuggies was a 19th century of gangs. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Young Thug just go on a RICO for being a part of a gang? That this is the stem of all of this shit that he's going through, being a part of this gang and the big court RICO, and now all of his causes being recorded. Drake just bought that chain, that death row chain that they say wasn't even a real chain, but it's all symbolism, right? It's metaphysical, it's celestial, but niggas that get caught up into it like, man, that shit crazy about Young Thug. Like, niggas would be like, when we was kids growing up, you went to school that morning or throughout that day, Tupac just died. Oh shit. And now that's what everybody is talking about. Biggie just died, and that's what everybody is talking about. So we talking about collective consciousness, which is connected to talent. And then talent is also engineered by these record labels, but the record labels, they fall under it's so much, it be always certain shit. God of contracts, it's right at the tip of my tongue. um Mithra. So the record labels, they under the energy and entity of Mithra. And Mithra, and all of this is hierarchical spiritual systems of the demiurge, because the demiurge was kicked out of, basically kicked out of existence, right? We can't see the demiurge, we can't see the archons, right? When you go, you one's in the chat, you go to a nice neighborhood, you don't see nobody. One's in the chat. Help me out. If you ever been to a nice neighborhood, tell me, tell me why you don't see nobody. Okay? Right? Because everybody is operating under spiritual contract and hierarchy to do what? To keep you as a working class citizen, right? So once again, how do you get out of this hellhole? Well, Young Thug thought he could help people, and he could like build this record company, and he could escape this particular situation. But what he figured out is that this is like higher level demiurgical archon shit. And because he is a part of the Loa, he was able to like get out of this situation. So he thought, right? Now he have a whole nother struggle, a whole nother battle, which is the collective shadow being put upon him. So when the collective shadow is being put upon you, everybody just hates you in a way where everybody just loved you. And I'm telling you, this shit is so spiritual that most niggas don't even understand. So the thugs were purported to have murdered their victims by strangling using a bandana. The thugs, like when you think about a gang, gangs wear bandanas. Once again, when you're a part of a gang, you are under ritual of a demiurgic spiritual force, and this spiritual force, it connects to people all throughout the nation, all throughout the world, and it's big mind. And once you are a blood, once you are a crypt, you no longer, you more or less giving your soul to Cali, or giving your soul to Rudra, or whoever is on top of these particular gangs, right? And when these demons possess these young men, possess these young women, all they think about is doing crime, right? So there's also a major shift taking place in the particular law enforcement sector of the world, where people are starting to realize, if you pay attention to the news, you can't even commit a crime no more because it's a whole complete surveillance state, which is come through from Saturn, which Saturn was the entity and the energy that came into conjunction with Neptune to be like, all right, we got to really bring some changes in this particular world, because these niggas is out of hand. So in Atlanta, Memphis, Dallas, Fort Worth, of course, New York, uh, Philadelphia, there are, and then you got like people like Trump saying, all right, we about to send troops. All of this shit is spiritual. It's not like, it's spiritual to the point where if there is no spiritual intervention in this particular world, you can see it just going completely to hell. Like you can see the shift go completely to like to a place, like it's already, like if you look at our communities, if you look at the psyche of people nowadays, people are really broken, and you're not going to see it on the news, you're not going to see it online. You know why? because people don't post the good shit. I mean, I'm sorry, people don't post when they going through shit online, right? They don't post when they going through shit on their social media. They don't post when they stressed out. They gonna post like if it's some good news, right? If you like succeeding. But like when you go into these businesses, when you go support your local botanica, right? Go to the local botanica. See how the energy have shift in that botanica. Because people don't care about spirituality no more because this particular attack that have been put on us through consumerism, through individualism, through gang warfare have completely isolated us into a space where we're like, damn, I don't know where to turn and who to turn to. So, in my observation of studying, like, or just looking at all of this young thug shit, I view it as like really like a phenomenon, really. Like it is by far some of the most spiritual shit you ever going to see. A person who felt untouchable, a person that felt like he could say anything, do anything, be completely humble into a space where, yeah, like that's where spirituality comes from. It comes from a place where you like, damn, I'm not in control. And there are higher celestial forces that I either can ignore or become aligned with. Now, do I think like he gonna become aligned? I think he gonna be made example of just like Ja Rule. And the way we seen 50 Cent go to heights, high heights for whatever reason, same way we gonna see Gunner go to them same heights. Like he gonna be one of the biggest stars. You know what I'm saying? Gunner gonna be huge because like it's we talking about spiritual development. And when I talk about spiritual development, I mean this. Thank you. I mean Harpocrates. Okay? Harpocrates, the god of silence, secrets, and confidentiality. Now, we're not talking about pillow talking and being silent. We're talking about being silent because I'm gonna tell you this is to the men right now. This is to the men right now. When you have issues and problems, when you vocalize it, you cement it into reality. And I'm not saying don't ask for help, right? I'm saying that the vocalization of certain shit brings it into a certain reality and you table the conversation for a later point. So what Young Thug was doing when he was in jail, he like talking about all of these people, like the past is the past. I'm out of jail now. And now shit from 2024, 2023 is showing up and present. He calling girls ugly. He calling people stupid. He calling people retarded. Now think about Harpocrates. Like Young Thug is an initiate. Like his whole aura, his whole mystique, like the thing that drove him to superstardom was the fact that you didn't know much about him. And he only did interviews with foreign, like he only did interviews with people in France and shit like that. You didn't know much about him. And artists can like your way of speaking as an artist is through your art. So People like I can't remember the name. John Milton, Paradise Lost, right? Occultists, right? Very, very esoteric. How do I know? Because I read the damn poem, right? Like when you read shit or you hear shit, like it's cool to do interviews, I guess, but it's also going to fuck up your lore. It's also going to fuck up your aura. And and a lot of times things have to be sorted out internally over time. So what's happening? You hitting the panic button and you don't have no reason to panic, right? You like even if so what's the problem with Young Thug? He going down a negative spiral of what? He keep talking. Talking is not going to help you gain the spiral. You know it is though? Accountability. Of man's first disobedience and the fruit of that forbidden tree, whose mortal task brought death into this world and all of our woe with loss of Eden, till one greater man restore us and regain the blissful seat. So in this, I'm not gonna read this whole entire poem because it's rather long and lengthy. But when you got time, read it because it's giving you all of the secret society game. So think about a book that you want to write, think about a song that you want to do, think about a business that you want to start, a church that you want to start, think about anything that you want to do, encode the mystery or encode what you really want to say. You know, like think about what you really want to say, how you really feel about the world. Don't try to tell your mama because now she gonna think like I don't know, baby. Maybe you just going a little crazy. Maybe you just need to take some of that medicine. So once again, we're talking about a lunar eclipse today, which is going to be taking place September 7th, like through um tonight through the morning. I would imagine. I think it's visible. Where is the lunar eclipse visible? Google said on Earth. You can see it when you on Earth. Shit. I don't think we'll be able to see this blood moon though. So it will be visible Asia, Western Australia, Europe, Africa, Australia, New Zealand. If you're in any of those places, you will be able to see the moon. But for those of us in America, look at this thing medically, which is, I think, the best way to look at it. So, once again, what causes eclipses? Eclipses are caused by interaction between the sun, moon, and the nodes. Okay, we've established that. The moon's nodes responsible for eclipses are known as dragons in Vedic astrology, where the symbolism of eclipses originated. So imagine scientists and literalists, like them Vedic astrologers, man. They talking about damn dragons in the sky and snakes and shit. Them niggas is weird. Ah, ha 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 ha. It's a mathematical point for this. Oh, wow. I guess those Vedic astrologers wasn't so crazy, right? So I want us to look at the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, but right now we're talking about a lunar eclipse as major turning, like before Christ, after death type of deal. These is major turning points in your life today, tomorrow. Keep your antennas up, right? Antennas is up. In which so the story of the woman in the snake, in which I relate Hindu myth about the churning of the ocean of the milk and how the nodes and eclipses were formed. It is important. It is an important event in Hindu philosophy, and the most common form of the story is the Mahabharata. So within this story is these demons and these angels who are at a constant fight, at a constant tug of war. And that's all well and good, but I know you probably like, how can that help me? That can't help me. So I'll explain it in layman's terms so we can understand the metaphysics of these particular eclipses, so we can see it on the collective side, but also see it on the personal side, because the personal is going to be the sun in Leo, and the collective is going to be the moon in Aquarius, and the power is going to be conjunct the nodes, which the nodes are the shadow. The shadow is the soul. The soul is the most important thing, but the most important thing are most likely hidden from us. So let's get into the symbolism. So I'm gonna go straight into some Carl Jung type deal, because we have to correlate two things. So the two things we're going to correlate: churning of the ocean of milk is a foundational Hindu myth where divas, gods, and asuras, demons, collaborated to churn the primordial Kashira Sagara, or the ocean of milk. Right? Their goal, this is what we should be getting from this lunar eclipse, and really getting into our spiritual bag by extracting the amarita, the nectar of immortality, which is your soul, which it has to be some form of awareness to it, which is easier said than done. Why? Because we have personal and collective aspects of the shadow. So let's just read. So remember the Suras, demons, and gods. Well, the shadow is like presenting that same dynamic. So I'm going to read and then elaborate. It may be helpful to think of the shadow in a vertical way. At the top is the personal shadow. It may feel rather black, formless, underdeveloped, as well as unwanted and disowned. This is the soul that's not being taken advantage of, not being, you're not aware of it because you got to make the money, you got to take care of the family, you got to do this, do that, do this, do that, da, 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 da. So where's the time for you to focus on your soul? Therefore, your soul becomes shadow because this is unwanted and disowned, right? But as we have seen, while this may feel like a cesspit, it can also be a treasure trove. So, in all of my shadow work and things of that nature, the goal after every workshop, the goal after every intensive is for you to transmute that unwanted, disowned part of yourself and put it into a treasure trove. This is where, like in all of the shadow work courses, I'm saying I don't want to get into the fact where your shadow is bad, because your shadow is bad the same way as you trying to find your keys and you in a dark room. Well, it's bad that it's dark and you can't find your keys. But once you cut the light on, you can see your keys. Like that darkness, it's just a problem that you need to solve. It's like the evil of not dealing with your soul. You feel like it's the evil of the world, which is a point of projection. But the change is not in you changing the world. The change is in you changing yourself to the point that you see the treasure within yourself. So, once again, the sun and Leo in your fifth house is the treasure trove, which you can use it for foresight and what you want to create in your 11th house Aquarius moon conjunct the North Node, where you are going in forms of creating or joining collectives. Maybe you want to be a nun, and you know this already. You're going to join a seminary and become a nun, but maybe you don't know what you want to create. Your job within this particular paradigm is to be a leader. Can y'all feel that? One's in the chat if y'all can feel that. Do you feel that because you don't have the community, because you don't have the tribe, that it is your responsibility to create it? Because don't you think there's people like you that need you to show up for? Am I alone in that? Y'all don't feel that? Let me know. Below this, but not divided from it in any way, is the collective shadow. This, like the personal shadow, is relative in that it will be in part culturally determined. It consists of that which opposes our conscious, shared, and collective values. For example, female circumcision is acceptable in some cultures and abhorrent to members of other cultural groups. Sometimes, like P word, however, is a transgression of taboo, which seems to be universally upheld. That leads us to the deepest areas of the shadow, where we find manifestations of evil as a dynamic in the world to which we need to relate with collective guilt, responsibility, reparation. Privatized waters, the armed trade, famine, torture, Guantanamo Bay, etc. Each of us will have such a list. The problem of evil is one that Young explored through his correspondence and through writings, particularly Answer to Job. It is a huge topic which is beyond the scope of this introduction. How is the shadow encountered? Almost always in projection into some other individual, family group, etc. This means that I see in another something I do not like. This tends to keep happening. So, to summarize, there are infinite evils in the world. Yo, pinpoint accuracy on 1 to 5 of them is shit that you need to take care within yourself. Because your pinpoint accuracy on uh let's just say gay people, right? You anti-gay, but you don't care about the drugs in the community, the fentanyl. You don't care about the guns in the community, right? You don't care about kids, growing up without parents because their parents is addicted to fentanyl. You don't care about shit. You waking up every day protesting gay rights, talking like on the front lines of the courthouse with a picket sign, talking about gays is wrong. Gay is wrong. Guess what, buddy? It have a lot to do with your shadow and you not even being able to come to grips with shit. So think about the thing that you hate the most. Think about the thing that you are angry about. Because the thing that you are angry about, the hardest thing for you to see is that you are projecting your light onto it. There is something that you can be doing to better yourself or the situation rather than hating it, rather than putting negative emotional energy towards it. I may begin to notice that a lot of people are rather greedy, for example, and I may begin to feel censorious or judgmental about their greed. But with luck, it may dawn on me that what I'm disliking in others is actually something that I'm struggling within myself. So, one of these things about like being around wealthy people, Like you have to come to the understanding, like you are not in control of how them niggas spend their money at all. So therefore, if you project on wealthy people, like damn, them motherfuckers is rich, now I'm poor. You creating that energy. But this is the power of the shadow in reference to the things that you just don't like. Because the things that you just don't like from a spiritual perspective is the things that can help you get to that next level. But if you refuse to address the things that you don't like, or cancel, or just be negative towards it, it's putting you into a deeper, darker, energetic, lower vibrational spiral. These projections can be unto external others or unto internal dream figures or both. What are some of the disowned aspects of the psychosomatic unity that we call as a person? The body is a good place to begin. Its form is problematic for some people, right? So shadow work for me, I tell people this all the time, bro. I got out of prison 2007. I worked out basically my whole prison bid, and I didn't really work out again. Like I worked out when I lived in Boston for a couple of years. But other than that, so I got out of prison when I was like 22. I'm 40. So in the span of like 15 years, I worked out for like 2 or 3 years, right? Because I was disembodied. I was disconnected from all of life. I don't know what the fuck I was going through, right? Like I've been working out for like the past 2 years, like just trying to get back in shape. You feel me? Like it is like crazy. But I had to be so fucking crazy. Like I can't even imagine how crazy I was or what I was going through to not prioritize my body. So how do you know you are losing your fucking mind? You don't exercise. That's when you are fucked up. You don't walk, you don't go to the gym, you don't do shit. You do what you do, go to sleep, wake up, and do what you do. Oh, you fucked up. The shadow starts with how you are being seen and how like your life, your everything that's like in reference to your energy and eating and like getting stronger. Like as you get older, your need for muscle is not a want or a desire. Shit. Do you need muscle later in life? Natural muscle loss begins around the age of 30, accelerating in the 60s. Engaging in strength training is crucial at any age to slow or prevent this decline, helping you perform daily tasks, getting up and washing your fucking ass. Lord forbid you get to a certain age and you can't even wipe your ass. And now you got to rely on the person that you was cheating on. Is this too deep? Engaging in strength training is crucial at any age to slow or prevent this decline, helping you perform daily tasks, regulate blood sugar, and preserve joint health. It is when you are going through mental illness, the first thing, because you don't know you're going through mental illness, guys. When I started taking shadow work, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I was in Planet Fitness parking lot, but I was like, it's a laundromat in Planet Fitness parking lot. I was washing clothes. I was like at Planet Fitness laundromat, at the parking lot rather, and I seen this beautiful girl in like this black you know, the black shit they be wearing, the black leggings and the black halter top shit. I'm like, I literally got out my car and walked into Planet Fitness while I was washing while I was washing my clothes and got a gym membership. And I've been consistent ever since then. But I knew that was shadow. I knew that my shadow work was like, oh, the part that you blind to is like shit. I don't. So how does it look like when you not comfortable with yourself? You don't go to shit. You don't do shit for real. And the reason you don't do shit is because you uncomfortable with the way you look. If you not people not going like change, they gonna look at you like I remember I seen my dad after some years. You like, damn, I didn't even realize it, y'all. My mom like, damn, boy, what you been going through? I'm like, I don't even know. I think I'm the same person. Listen, it's okay because awakening is first thing the body. Get into it. Like, get into it. Like, I'm for real. You can get 10-pound dumbbells, 15-pound dumbbells. I got this routine where I do like 75 reps on the 15-pounder. You ain't, I'm telling you, you like a 15-pound dumbbell is like $20. You get a good eighth of loud. That's at least 40. You smoke that loud, what? You smoke an eighth in a day and a half. It's gone. You think about some 20-pound, 30-pound dumbbells, shit. That's an investment. And every night you crank out 100 reps of curls, 100 reps of skull crushers. Shit. Like you be at a different level. But once again, I know talking about physical health, it went from 35 viewers to 28 viewers, right? Niggas want to hear spiritual shit up until you start talking about truthful shit. And then niggas don't want their spirit and their truth to coincide. And that's the problem with the ego being indoctrinated in K through 12. You went to school, you can be anything you want to be as long as you work for my company. The contents of the body attract negative projections, which can then be parceled out to others who we describe as shitty, snotty, bloody, etc. Then there are sexuality and sex and their accompanying anxieties and pressures. I was thinking about this earlier about how like dating is like crazy now because you don't know if that man hate women. You don't know if that woman hate men, right? Like you don't know if they got like some real hatred towards the opposite sex of what they've been through and experienced, and they can just use you as a projection. You dating a man that hate women because of how his mama treated him. His mama was a hoe. Now all these women is hoes, right? So even you a hoe. You not a hoe, but he think you a hoe. So you a hoe today, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So it's like projection and shadow work, since nobody is doing it, good luck, right? Good fucking luck. In terms of human development, once infants can experience, enjoy, and live in their bodies, they can then learn, with their mother's help, how to translate sensations into effects. For example, butterflies in the stomach can mean I am nervous, feeling shy, and afraid of that authority figure. This is gradually this is gradually how we construct an emotional vocabulary. So once again, we talking about black people and the black emotional vocabulary in reference to not how we was raised, because everybody was raised the same way when we reference a collective unconscious or collective shadow. You must know that it's a small percentage of people that was raised and went to private school. A larger percentage of black people go to public school. Do a majority of black people go to public school? Talking about emotional vocabulary, okay? Your emotional vocabulary was taught to you by the enemy. Never get that confused. Yes, a large majority of black students in the US attend public schools. So, public schools are funded by government entities. Yes, public schools are funded by local, state, and federal government entities. So this means that the local, state, and federal government is teaching your child, teaching us what they want us to know. So our fundamental sense of ourselves is literally being snipped out, sniped out, and have been snipped out, sniped out ever since integration, for real, integration into public schools. Then you have to deal with their curriculum, mainly their history and their social studies and their mathematics, to whereas the skills and the emotional vocabulary that you need services you as a good worker. And a good worker always has an administrator to give them money. So the elites, they get their money directly to them and then they administrate it to their workers as they see fit. So elitist mindset is to then start a business, but good luck with that shit. When you understand, when you understand that this is an illusion, this country, this government, they operate as an evil entity, first and foremost, and then however you deal with it is on you. But the institutions for which we need to start our own institutions, they are already created. So if I wanted to start a business today, I would have to pay $50 to the Secretary of State. Everybody who start a business got to pay into the government to then get that little certificate, and then any type of materials that I need to pay into that too. So all that I'm saying is this: we can start a t-shirt company, but we can't start a cotton company. We can start we can sell cars, but we can't make cars. And this is like the system that we are being taught, that we are being poured into, and it is the foundation for everything that we are trying to talk about spiritually. So once again, when we then try to adjust into a spiritual reality, it's hard for most people because most people are not self-educated and they don't want to be self-educated, and they don't have to be self-educated because you can exist within this matrix, right? In the Matrix movie, Cypher was a person that knew that it was a matrix, but said, "Fuck it, it's nothing I can do. Just give me steak and Pepsi, and I'll be fine." That is the New Age spiritualists who may know certain things, but at the end of the day, they just gonna like try to get some money out of you. Because when we have to start developing emotional vocabularies that are into the realms of forgiveness, that are into the realms of compassion, that are into the realms of unity, integrity, and really show up as a person that is not hateful or spiteful or psychologically damaged. That's hard for niggas to come. You hard to come in alignment with a situation like that because it might look good on the surface, but sooner or later, niggas will nigga. Sooner or later, and as a spiritual being, you can see it. Niggas judging and projecting at the same time. So it's a certain level of discernment that goes into this and shifting, like, and creating a different emotional vocabulary for yourself and for others. Because if you observe the world, if you really, really observe the world, what are you going to see? You're going to see an enormous amount of people that you don't even know. So, in your knowledge of these people, do you feel that you need to control these people, or do you feel that you need to understand these people? Because when you don't do shadow work, you feel like you need to change people, that you need to help people. In reference to doing shadow work, you feel like, damn, I need to help myself. I need to change myself. Like, I need to figure out me. And when I went to school on a day-to-day basis, I was not being poured into. I was being like traumatized. But this is the foundation. Like, from 8 to 3, every single day, from Monday through Friday, your kids are being fucked. Pause. Mentally, emotionally, sometimes even fucking literally. In high school under the bleachers. This is where the shadow comes from. It's like we live in this, like, world that has an infinite amount of metaphorical, metaphysical, mythological stories that can enhance us if we are only to understand it and then, like, break it down into our lives. Establishing emotional vocabulary is certain ideas that you can ingrain within a child that will transcend the rest of his life into his children's life, right? But when you construct a world around a child, and now a child have to live in this world, it's all fake because the matrix have been created within our mind. And so the thing that we have to really do moving into 2025 and 2026 is unlearn a lot of shit. Because in reference to who you are becoming, in reference to what this shift is really truly about, money is not going to be no object. Like, the you going to have to really, like, figure out what you want your life to represent, what you want your life to stand for. Like, the barriers and the borders that we think exist, they're not really there. It is just what we have been told. And then our inner vocabulary and our lack of understanding the mythology, the metaphysics, the symbology. And this is things that I've been teaching and talking about for years, and I've helped people, but it's like, shit, I'll keep doing it because you always reach winnowing processes. You always reach parts, like, within my psyche. It's shit within my psyche that I have to get rid of. It's shifts that I'm going through, that I'm experiencing, that I'm accepting. It's things that I gotta let go that I never thought about letting go. But it's like shit, let it go and move into this next phase. Move into this next phase with proper energy. Cause this is what you need to do. All right, this is what I need to do. Fuck it. It's like mental illness. It's like first you deal with your body, then you start thinking about mentally and emotionally, and you got to start making those changes. From infancy through childhood and adolescence, we pick up from our parents' careers both conscious and unconscious messages about what is acceptable in terms of our body, our feelings, and our behaviors. All that is unacceptable is suppressed and repressed and becomes part of our shadow. So, right then and there, when you look at the sun in Leo, conjunct the South Node represents your past lives. So, who you are as a soul is not in reference to what people have told you about yourself, or implications or thoughts, and whatever seeds the enemy have planted within your subconscious that you have watered and nurtured, it doesn't make it so. To whereas the sun in this fire sign of Leo doing this alchemy of cleaning all of that suppressed energy and bringing it to the surface, where it's like, okay, this is some things that I need to let go about my psyche, or these are some things that I need to kind of investigate within my psyche, because guess what? Your parents didn't know, your friends didn't know, the people that was in relationships with you didn't know. The only person that knew was is you tired through introspection, through spiritual work. Let's not forget that Saturn is conjunct Neptune. We not only take in and repress what is unacceptable, we also internalize our careers, attitudes to these unwanted qualities and characteristics of ourselves. The harsher the attitude, which may have been expressed by withdrawal of love, rejection, physical, emotional, sexual abuse, the more hostile we are to these facets of our shadow. So me and my wife, we were talking yesterday about men, and like she like the conversation had got to a point where it's like I was reflecting on like being around guys and how dudes just be thinking about pussy. And what I understood that to be is that like most men don't experience love outside of sex, like the mental and emotional connection that me and my wife have. Like it was out of her initiative to like create that for me, to show me that, because it's choices that a woman makes on a daily basis to decide whether she's going to love that man or not love that man, based upon how much she have been hurt in the past, or shit that she got going on in her life. Like she might feel like today I'm gonna do my job, and while I'm working, I'm gonna work all day, go home, go to sleep, and throughout that whole day I didn't love on my man, right? Because I'm busy, I got shit to do, right? And generally that's what you're going to experience if she makes that decision. Or she can make the decision, I'm working, I got to do this, but after work I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna love on you. Loving on a man, it don't have to be sex, because when you love on a man in a way that's not sexual, like she made me this bracelet, that to me is love, right? Like that's her loving on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I like when she's creative, and I like wearing beads. So it's like a win-win. But that's an experience, that exchange of energy, that's like I appreciate that. So like it's nothing sexual about it. But back to men, like men craving and desiring sex from all of these particular women is because when it comes to love, man, they being rejected. You know, and it's a dark world. Cause I'm just thinking of like, if a woman is dating, I tell you, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but 10 out of every 10 niggas that you date is primarily dating you to have sex with you. And if you was to find one that didn't want to have sex with you, you probably gay. That's just a joke. At worst, the shadow becomes inextricably entwined with abandonment anxiety, so that its emergence can really feel like a matter of life and death. And this is the shift that comes in reference to that lunar eclipse. And studying this stuff, it brings me peace, because in not studying it, it brings me a lot of stress and anxiety, because I'm experiencing the shifts. I'm experiencing the shifts. And these, I appreciate the comment, Shantae. Like, I was just reading your comment. Like, it's important for you to do the homeschooling of your child. That's an important piece, because you either going to teach your kids, or the United States government is going to teach your kids. Donald Trump is going to teach your kids, or you going to teach your kids. How about that? Imagine you go into class and Donald Trump is your, start looking at your teachers as Donald Trump. How about that? You know, when they say you gotta imagine imagine your audience with no clothes on to get through a speech. Your next PTA, when your teacher is talking to you, listen to her in Donald Trump voice, and you'll get it. Because the attention and nurturing that your kid need, you think that this one teacher, it got 25 students, like, can literally give a fuck about, like, they don't have the capacity to. So the whole system is crazy when you say I love my kid and I want the best for them. All right, it's your first day of school. You got them kids on goddamn Jordans. Got that motherfucker a nice ass outfit. And this is the energy that niggas show up with every fucking Friday or Saturday. Niggas just want to, like, 38 years old, 44 years old. Like, what's the move for tonight? Nigga, it's not the first day of school. The move is we're going to study law and build our 501c3. That's the move. We're going to do all-nighters and study. Again, though, it is necessary to emphasize that positive, loving feelings, fantasies, and impulses can be as much part of the shadow as negative, hostile ones. So, in reference to experiencing these shifts that the lunar eclipse, oh my goodness, you ain't never lied. Think about that. Think about your kids learning ideologies and pathologies and to the fact that you are a parent that love your kids, and the fact that they've accepted a pathology, went to college for 4 years, effectively have been brainwashed into a said pathology, what your kids gonna look at you as? Like, my mom dumb. She not even hip on this feminist shit. She not even a feminist. Where you learn feminism from? College, 4-year courses, women's studies. Oh, word. Yep. Did you learn men's studies? Nope, didn't have to. Men are the patriarchal oppressors. You sure about that? Yep. Okay. You don't think you in balance for studying women's studies without studying male studies? You don't think you in balance for studying African American studies, but what you know about other races? There aren't no other races besides black people? Okay, good talk. Good. I don't want to say nothing else. Nothing else that I can say now. You focused on one end of the spectrum, so you know the whole spectrum, so shit. My bad. So we'll say you go to school Monday through Friday, but Saturday and Sunday, you could cut the damn food. No, we going to the library on Saturday and Sunday. We learning 7 days a week. Some form of education and self-education too. You gotta wanna learn shit, right? Because these are the things that are going to be the most important. So once again, let's go back to Google. Do you need a degree to start a business? No, you do not need a college degree to start a business. Fuck a college degree. Do you need a high school diploma? Do you need a high school diploma to start a business? No, you don't need a high school diploma to start a business. Nigga, do you not understand the game? If you had a support system that had the same goal, would you more likely start a business? Yes, having a support system with a shared vision increases the likelihood of starting a business by providing crucial emotional support, motivation, accountability, and diverse perspectives needed to navigate the challenges of entrepreneurship. Such a system makes the difficult journey less isolating and helps entrepreneurs stay focused and resilient, leading to a higher chance. So, I want to talk to y'all about astrology in life, right? You don't need, your kids don't need a diploma to be successful if you're going to teach them about accounting, finances, sexual energy, things of that nature. The idea that we can just say, all right, go off to school, little Timmy, and Timmy come back with good grades and get a job and become a successful person because he was so good at school and so good at sports, that idea is flawed because we don't live in a meritocracy. Most of the money that exists through inheritances, not through creation. More money is sent out through insurance entitlement programs than goddamn you going to a job. So the work, the shadow, is in the ability to be seen, to show up for others. Because we're talking about the moon in the 11th house, which is like, I have reasons why I don't want to show up for others. I have reasons for why I don't want to create or start for people because I don't trust people and blah, 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 blah. But when you look at any foundation, any corporation, any successful endeavor, it was from a collective group effort. Do I know where I'm going to find that collective group effort of 3 or more people from different backgrounds that didn't know each other or didn't know that we was going to start this huge entrepreneurship endeavor September 7th? Do I know who I'm doing this with? No. But do I know I'm doing it? Yes. Because I can understand the energy. I can see the energy. And all I need to do is accept the idea based upon the astrology. I know who I am. And I know that the tribe, either we already probably on this live already, or I don't even know your ass. We gonna make yourself known. I'm gonna see you in Ann Arbor, or you gonna hit me up in the Discord or send me a DM, or I'm gonna send you a DM. I'm gonna have the idea, or you gonna have the idea. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but from a magical perspective, I don't need to know how it's going to work out. What do I need to know? That it's going to work out. This is the moon conjunct the North Node in Aquarius. It's going to work out with others. So, what I feel like other people are is some shit that I have to work on within me because it ain't got shit to do with them. It's people that's successful already. So I gotta work on me. I don't gotta wait on nothing. I know it's shit that I need to work on. I just need to accept the idea and know it's going to happen. I don't need to know how it's going to work. I know that it's going to work out. It's going to work out with the collective of people. I'm going to be one of fucking 20. I'm going to just be the guy in there with other guys that's in there, other girls that's in there. We're working together, holding each other accountable because we know at the end of this road is millions and billions of dollars generational wealth. Do I have that today? No. Do I know I'm going to have it? Yes, because I can see it. And everything that I've said and laid out to you, you can Google it. You can read on it. But in studying astrology, you have to be able to look at a chart and see what this chart is actually saying. If you can mentally accept and now once again, if you are part of a collective already and y'all already got it going on, start opening up some doors, creating an application process, right? Because the idea that it's got to trample is that as long as we good, everybody good. No, you being good is not answering the question for us being good. So the isolated, successful, yeah, but if I start dealing with people, you know how people is. No, you know how you are. So when you look at the anxieties and the psychosis and things of that nature, what is this talking about? This is talking about the work that you need to do in referencing what does my 11th house look like in the future? What does my community look like in the future? Are we going to expand? Right? Because what planet is creating a learning triangle? Jupiter. Jupiter is sextile the sun, but it's also trine the moon. So Jupiter trine the moon, Jupiter sextile the sun. Learning triangle in astrology. A medium learning triangle is an aspect pattern with a red square, a blue trine, and a. That's not even what we talking about. Man, what we talking about, man? They don't make websites like they used to, man. Anyways, man, just gotta come at them raw. I gotta put out an article on aspects. I had a video on aspects, but I think I want to take it up another notch with like minor grand trines, which is what you see between Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune and Uranus. This is a minor grand trine, and then we also have a learning triangle. So this opposition creates tension between Jupiter and its third decan of Gemini, our ability to expand from a mental perspective. And this expansion is what I would call um, less is more. What does less is more means? Less is more is a principle found in several traditions. Its basic meaning is to keep things simple. Similar to the concept of minimalism, its use in architecture emerges from the idea that simplicity and clarity lead to good design. So, with that being said, having a lot of contacts and doing this and doing that and all of that particular energy, the boss babe energy, the high value man energy, right? All of that's coming to a heed, a end. Of course, join the Discord. Please keep the conversation going. Shout out to the initiates. So, once again, uh, this letting you know doing the most is doing the least. So, even deeper, Jupiter is square Mars and Virgo in this deacon of wealth. So, God's trying to tell you something. God's trying to tell you something. You could be working towards something that's not even leading you to wealth. So, the best action in this particular lunar eclipse is inaction. Inaction is the lack of action where some is expected or appropriate. So are you acting in ways of what people expect of you? Like, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, and the fact that you got to do this and got to do that is like making you feel like you got to do this and you got to do that. But really, you don't got to do shit besides listening to your soul throughout this lunar eclipse. Okay? Like you really have to figure out what your world looks like and like if you got ADHD or OCD, ADD, like what you tend to do, like especially if you got ADHD, you tend to do things that are not helping you, but they might quote unquote feel good. But because you do the things that quote unquote feel good, you put yourself in a worse situation over time. So getting out the mode of doing things that quote unquote feel good and doing things that's going to definitely assist you later in life, how you show up with others, um, just how to communicate and how to like really have discernment and keep your eyes and ears open for opportunities for you to connect with others is the key because you're thinking about your currency moving forward. Like, you know, they got the credit scores. The credit score ain't the credit score. The credit score is your network. of people that you can do business with. Y'all can discuss percentages and things of that nature. Start a LLC, start an S corp, so y'all can protect y'all personal finances. And in that conglomeration, y'all can have 450 credit scores, right? But still get funding for y'all business. Y'all all got 400 credit scores. Y'all never had shit. But because y'all doing business together, because y'all growing together, y'all are able to do things that y'all never thought you could do. But once again, you working for the man every single day. Working for the man every night and day. Shout out to Tina Turner. Right? And because of this, you work from sundown to sun up. You don't have a social life. You don't have a social circle. You're not going to be able to tap in. And once again, I'm not saying start a GoFundMe, start a meetup page. All I'm saying is put your mind on the 11th house and keep your antennas and ears open. And once again, cultivate your Kundalini energy to figure out who you are at a past life spiritual mindset, because you have access to your past life. You have access to your Akashic records because they are your records. What you have to do is grant yourself permission to access them. You can open up the files. So your ability to say, I can't do that, I don't know how to do that, can you teach me how to do that? Kyrie, can you start a class to do that? Is your ability to not access your own motherfucking Akashic records. Think about that shit. You think a nigga that's goddamn wearing a dashiki and got jewels and crowns on can tell you about your Akashic records? That was your first and worst mistake. Okay? So, as you all know, the gym closed early on Sunday, and I gotta go. Okay? I gotta get into one more symbolism though before I get out of here. Hopefully, y'all was able to take from this and gain some insight on how to, ritualize your lunar eclipse holiday. So the cards that rule Leo, strength, respectively, and Aquarius, the star, respectively, have the same entity and energy on both respective cards, which is divine feminine energy. And within these particular cards are not just artistic expressions of certain concepts, but these cards are actual alchemical formulae to create the life that you want to have for yourself. One is in our Leo video, we discuss strength, but I'll talk about it again, where your ability to tap into your Kundalini is your ability to object to your base lower emotions. So it being around certain shit, I will see motherfuckers will eat damn near anything, right? On a daily basis, niggas eat bullshit all day, every day, just eating, right? So in that, people don't have any strength when it comes to, today I'm just going to eat something light, right? Your ability to have it is your ability to grab it. So when it comes to sexual things, when it comes to food, when it just comes to just what you doing or how you spending your time, you on goddamn social media, you just scrolling on TikTok, reality shows. What this displays is a lack of inner strength. Inner strength is the ability to quiet your base nature. Your base nature is what is blocking you from the goddess, but the goddess has the power to shut down your lower desires. So as a man, not when you just practice a sense of gaining inner strength, you become attractive. As a woman, And this is really key for women because a lot of life, if you just pay attention, niggas will just give you shit. If you put yourself out there in a certain way, right? It's easy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You tell a guy, hey, come over, come get some of this pussy. That ain't hard. You feel me? But that's also going against your inner strength. Right? It's easy to exist in a world where you don't really prioritize your strength. Your strength is how you get stronger at things that you weaken. So when you look at the 11th house, the star, which is the same goddess, but fully evolved and in their particular purpose, in reference to cultivating your spiritual side, which is the formula given in the strength card, the result is the star card. The result is what we can look forward to, where we're able to tap into this abundance of mythology, this abundance of metaphysical doctrines, literature, music, entertainment. We have so many sources of information. But will we tap into it? Will we access it in a way where it's going to benefit us and benefit others? So one will ask, well, how does the star get all of her energy to then be given to so many people? Right? How does one get this energy to give to so many people? How does one become spiritual? How does one become a powerhouse? It becomes a point where your base nature is to say, all right, I'm going to do this. But your strength is saying, no, I'm going to do something else. So like I travel with this Law of Attraction book by Abraham Hicks. So if it's certain times where I'm sitting in the car, my base nature is to scroll on Twitter. So I was like, stop doing that. And I start reading. It feels better, right? And it's like giving me a different direction. So that's just an example, right? Sometimes people want to eat, a pork ass, and their base nature is to eat pork ass. And you got to tell yourself, no, that's not good for me. I don't need to be eating pork ass in 2025, going into 2026, right? So ultimately, these formulas of not suppressing, but like getting stronger with your base desires is how you are developing your spiritual strength to then, once you get to a level of Aquarius, your 11th house, like it's just so much that, like if it was a point where like online was like this endeavor where like I could take care of my family, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? But like I can't do both. You feel me? So it's like you have to like you going to have to like figure that part out. But even in the like little spare time that I have, I still think about giving to others. So once again, don't quit your day job, right? It's not important that you just, you know, devote all of your life into this so that you like lose yourself. But over time and understanding certain functions and formula of just your inner ability to like stop at that first level, stop at that second level, getting into like releasing those forms of resistance within your meditation and getting into like spaces where you meditating to get to a point where you meditating, you'd have had to tell yourself no about 10 times. Because you say, I'm about to meditate, motherfucker was like, you sure you don't want to smoke this blunt first? You sure you don't want to get on Pornhub first? Let's make a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? All right, I do got to go to the store and get some dishwashing liquid. Oh, damn, I got to go to my mom. She has some mail for me. You know what I'm saying? So you done did 10 things up until like you just said you had to meditate. So that point of learning how to deny that that monster, right? To like put that monster at bay and recognize that monster. You know, the type of nigga that I used to be versus the nigga that I am today. I look at that goddamn lion, that motherfucker just, you know what I'm saying, salivating at the mouth. And I'm like, yeah, nigga, you don't get no play in this ride. It is, I've gotten stronger over time. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? Way stronger over time in all of the areas that niggas struggle in. Porn addiction, of course. Like what? What, nigga? Porn addiction. Shit, I'm the OG of porn addiction. So I know I'm stronger because I don't even watch it. That shit was a go-to mainstay in my life. You know what I'm saying? Relationship or not, you know what I'm saying? Lunch break, bathroom break, you know what I'm saying? I'm bringing my phone up with me. You don't think I got a shit that much, do you? You want to get it in. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. So you gotta think like I can watch porn whenever I want to. You gotta be strong to say, nah, I'm not into that shit. I'm not doing that shit. You can even say, I'm not doing that shit. I don't want that shit. And then you get to that pressure point, like, you want to go to sleep, don't you? You want to go to sleep, don't you? You gonna goddamn cut on that goddamn porn so you get to sleep. Don't you got to go to work in the morning, nigga? All right, pull it out. So imagine all the times that you're doing these things that are in your lower nature. You're not, like, personally, you're not even seeing what this goddess looks like within you. And you're not able to, you know, even realize it within yourself. Because it's like, I want to be the Aquarian star where my whole life is just pouring into people. I want to figure that out. So, like, understanding this process as the sun goes through Virgo, as the sun goes through Libra, as the sun goes through Ophiuchus, as the sun goes through Scorpio, as the sun goes through Sagittarius, as the sun goes through Capricorn. By the time it gets to this point of Aquarius, I hope that, you know, I have enough resources and enough, you know, security that, you know, I can exist in a world where I'm just giving, you know, and just pouring into people, right? And it's like it's a point where, you know, it's all working, it's all culminating, and that's something that I have to learn. That's something that I have to grow into because I'm not there yet. I can see the strength in me. I can't necessarily see the star in the way that I see the star should be, right? It's constant every day, and to me, it's like, yeah, nigga, you better go get some goddamn money. You know what I'm saying? You better go get you a couple of bricks. I'm just joking. Unless you're gonna do it. No, but man, this has been the spiritual breakdown of the lunar eclipse by the Hood Mystic. Man, I gotta get to that gym. You know, close at 3. It's a big day for me to figure out some things. So be on the lookout on the social media. You'll see what's happening in the tribal expansion of Hood during this lunar eclipse. I don't even want to be spending this lunar eclipse in no better way, you know what I'm saying, than how I'm spending it. So just want to get a good workout in and, you know, just enjoy some time with my family and, you know, just do my thing. But in the flip side, in other aspects, man, make sure you join the Discord, become a member of the Substack, things of that nature. Stay on the lookout for some new initiates videos throughout the week. I'm undergoing a new schedule, so within that new schedule, I have to figure out how things is going to work with my going lives and videos and content, things of that nature. Appreciate those on the Substack being patient with me. I got those monthly readings coming ASAP. Babe, can you send me my deck, please? I just bought a brand new deck for those readings specifically. I just want to show you OD but goodie. You know what I'm saying? Best deck in the whole entire world, right? Yes, sir. I got new shoes on the ride, rolling down 95. You can see it in my eyes. Hey, my body, your body burning up, your body. So got the melanated tarot deck. Those is coming as soon as possible. But y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. Enjoy y'all lunar eclipse. Man, get y'all mind right. You know what I'm saying? And man, any topics, any conversation, any videos y'all want me or us to react to, hit me up on Instagram at the Hood Mystic. And yeah, man, regular she. Okay, with all of that being said, man, have a wonderful day. And I will catch all of y'all on the flip side.